Hi, and welcome to the latest Ancient Egypt news from the second week of August. The Grand Egyptian Museum has launched its first environmental awareness program for tour guides as part of a broader initiative developed in partnership with the Egyptian Environmental Affairs Agency, the EEAA, organised by the Ministry of Local Development and Environment through the Central Administration for Environmental Information, Culture and Environmental Awareness. The programme is part of a cooperation protocol aimed at strengthening environmental practices across the museum. According to Minister of Local Development and Environment, Dr. Manal Awad, the initiative covers museum employees and tour guides and also includes environmental awareness activities for children visiting the museum. Under the agreement, the EEAA will develop the scientific and educational content for the museum's environmental program, providing technical support for awareness activities and prepare training materials covering a range of environmental topics. The first sessions included a lecture by Dr. Rehab Youssef, Director General of Culture and Awareness at the EEAA, titled The Environment in Ancient Egyptian Civilization, which explored environmental principles reflected in ancient Egyptian heritage. A second session, delivered by engineer Yusra Abdelaziz, head of the plastics unit at the Waste Management Regulatory Authority, focused on plastic pollution, Egypt's waste management policies and efforts to advance a circular economy. The programme also highlighted national initiatives, including the Waste Management Law, the strategy to reduce single-use plastic bags, and the Dakahliya awareness campaign. Organisers emphasised the role of tour guides in promoting environmentally responsible practices among visitors in line with Egypt Vision 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals. An Egyptian archaeological mission has uncovered an extensive cemetery dating from the pre-dynastic period through the Greco-Roman era, alongside a settlement dating to the Second Intermediate period at the Komel Khelgan archaeological site in Dakahliya. The discovery, carried out by an Egyptian mission, offers new evidence of the long history of human settlement in the eastern Nile Delta and provides a rare archaeological record spanning several thousand years of Egypt's history. Hisham El-Lithi, Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, the SCA, described the discovery as an important scientific addition to the understanding of the Delta's history and cultural development. He explained that the Komel Khelgan area is emerging as an important archaeological site in the eastern delta. The remains uncovered there document changes in settlement patterns, funerary traditions, and the relationship between communities and their surrounding environment from prehistoric times through the Greco-Roman period. Excavations at the site are continuing, with further investigations expected to reveal additional evidence about the communities that inhabited the area over the centuries. The earliest burials date back to the 4th millennium BCE, and the oldest discoveries have been dated to the Lower Egyptian culture, represented by Buto I and Buto II, dating to the first half of the 4th millennium BCE. Archaeologists uncovered a group of simple, oval-shaped graves cut into the sand. The burials were found in different positions, indicating variations in funerary practices during the early period. The graves contained relatively modest funerary goods, including small handmade pottery vessels and marine shells. The large number of burials suggests that the area was home to a substantial community at the time. The settlement reveals daily life during the Second Intermediate period. The mission uncovered a residential area and a group of graves dating to the Second Intermediate period and continuing into the early New Kingdom. The settlement includes mud brick structures, grain storage silos, ovens and hearths, offering archaeologists a glimpse into the everyday lives and economic activities of the site's inhabitants. Among the most distinctive architectural discoveries are a series of sinusoidal walls surrounding residential and funerary structures, said Mohammed Abdelbadi, head of the Ancient Egyptian Antiquities sector. He explained that such walls are characteristic architectural features that appeared from the Middle Kingdom and continued into the New Kingdom. Archaeologists also unearthed pottery vessels, stone tools, and large quantities of fish, bird, and animal bones. The remains are expected to provide valuable information about the diet, subsistence practices, and daily life of the community during the Second Intermediate period. Several graves dating from the 15th through 17th dynasties and the beginning of the New Kingdom were also discovered, providing further evidence that the area was inhabited during the Hyksos period, when the Eastern Delta was a major centre of political and cultural activity. The site's proximity to Avaris, the Hyksos capital, adds particular significance to the discovery. The graves include mastabas and tombs featuring cornices. Preliminary studies indicate considerable diversity in burial positions, age groups, and funerary customs. The funerary assemblages include jewellery, amulets, scarabs, bronze tools, and weapons, as well as pottery vessels and Tel el Yahudia ware, a distinctive type of pottery associated with this period. Hisham Hussein, head of the Central Administration for Lower Egypt Antiquities, said the excavations have produced a number of significant findings, including a mud brick built tomb dating to the early 18th dynasty. The tomb contained pottery vessels and bronze tools. Archaeologists also uncovered the foundations of a structure with thick mud brick walls, with pottery fragments and stone tools found on its floor dating to the beginning of the New Kingdom. The archaeological record at Kom el Khelgan extends well beyond the New Kingdom, as excavations uncovered several simple burial pits dating to the Ptolemaic period, including the burial of a child placed inside two amphorae that had been reused as a funerary container. The unusual burial provides additional evidence that the site continued to be used across different historical periods, reinforcing its importance as a long-term settlement and funerary centre in the eastern Nile Delta. With excavations still underway, archaeologists expect further work at Kom el Khelgan to shed additional light on the communities that lived, worked and buried their dead at the site over thousands of years. A new museum has opened its doors in Egypt's new capital. The Water Museum documents the country's history of Nile management and the development of its water sector through historical documents, engineering drawings, maps and artifacts. Inaugurated by Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation, Hani Suelam, the museum aims to preserve the ministry's institutional history while showcasing the contributions of generations of engineers, scientists and ministry staff to Egypt's water resources management. According to the ministry, the collection traces the evolution of the country's water sector and its role in national development. The project forms part of the ministry's Water 2.0 strategy, which focuses on modernising water management through digital technologies, scientific research, innovation and stronger institutional capacity, while preserving historical knowledge and technical expertise. The ministry already operates the Revolution Museum, the Children's Water Science Museum in Kanata El Khairia, and the African Cultural Museum in Aswan. Suelam also announced plans to establish another museum at the Egyptian Survey Authority. The inauguration was attended by Transport Minister Kamal El-Wazir, Minister of Local Development and Environment Manal Awad, Minister of Religious Endowments Osama Al-Azhari, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Mohammed Abu Bakr, Grand Egyptian Museum CEO Ahmed Ghanim, and representatives from the European Union, the American University in Cairo, foreign embassies and government institutions. And that's it for this week. This news podcast is brought to you by Ted Laux and GNT Tours. Ancient Egypt News is rated in the top 5 Egypt history podcasts according to feedspot.com, as well as featuring in the top 60 African news podcasts by millionpodcasts.com. For the next tour dates, check out our website, gnttours.com. Follow us on social media. Thanks for listening to this episode. Please feel free to comment and share. Until next time, thanks again. Cheers. Bye-bye.